the jump. All right, Andre Iguodala hyperextended his knee in the final seconds of Game 4. Chris Paul there, I don't know what you want to call that, was going for the rebound attempt also,
Wow.
or going for something. All right, Scottie, how important is his health to the Warriors?
I think it's very important. I mean, you watch the game, you watch the first 3 quarters. He's the anchor for them in terms of staying in front of James Harden. He's the guy that can burn fouls. KD normally guards him late in the game, but it's really important that he's able to contain him for 3 quarters. So I think he will be missed because he does a lot more than just defend.
And we're not saying he's going to be out. I just, obviously, Iggy not being involved in the beginning of the Rockets-Warriors series last year, the Warriors say that's the reason they even got into trouble against the Rockets. They need him.
Because they need his creativity with the basketball. They need his rebounding as well.
Yeah, all right, let's talk about the culture shift here because the Timberwolves introducing new president of basketball operations, Gersson Rosas, on Monday. The former VP of the Rockets said we're going to question the norm with everything we do. Steven, winning culture, right, is so big. Do you think you can just build it in Minnesota? Do you think that they have enough of it for him to get started with?
Well, I just think, the first step they need to start taking is getting some players in there, getting some guys with experience who these young guys can look up to and respect that played the game first and teach these guys how to win. That's the first step, not bringing guys in there to start talking numbers. Now teach them how to win first.
I mean, they tried to bring Jimmy in and some guys from that Bulls culture. That was a little too oil and water, but we'll see what happens this time. All right, it's the 30th anniversary of The Shot. Sorry, Cleveland fans. Jordan over Ehlo, Game 5 of the '89 Eastern Conference first round. Scottie, what do you remember about that moment?
Can we run that back? I remember I was supposed to get the ball on this play. I really remember that we were not supposed to win this year's series. We were the underdogs going in this series. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they were stacked at that time with Brad, Doherty, Nance, but it was a big win for us, and that was the start of a long road for us. And unfortunately, Doug Collins wasn't able to stay with us along that journey. We lost him as a coach. He got fired, but for us as a team, that was the start of our journey.
Yeah, that moment, though, he'll have that moment forever, Doug, with the flips. I thought Doug was actually going to do a full flip.
Actually, Doug was so happy. He was sweating more than the players.
I buy that.
It was an amazing win for us.
That was, as you said, that was the beginning of something big for you and set the city of Cleveland back for another, 20 years or so. But they got their championship, too. Everyone's happy in the end. All right, I want to move on to Blazers-Nuggets Game 5 tonight in Denver. Damian Lillard putting up points in this series, but he hasn't had an easy time of it, guys. He's shooting 43% from the floor, 26 from 3. So, Scottie, what do you think the Nuggets have done to make life more difficult for Damian Lillard?
Well, they forced him to come into Denver and have to play, and that's one of the toughest places in the NBA to play. The altitude, and the fact that, Denver's a very good basketball team, and they got guys that can match up well against them in size, but it's really been about Dame, I think. I think some of his shot selection in this series has not been as good as it was in the last series, and I think teams are now expecting what he was doing in last season. So it's not a surprise anymore, those shots that he was getting. So that, I think, is one reason why he's not shooting the ball as well.
Offensively, they trapping his pick and roll, so he can't be as aggressive and do a lot that he was doing in the last series against OKC. And in this series, too, he's just not guarding Russ. He's guarding a number of guys that's going at him every time he get the ball. Right. A number of guys, all those guys have been aggressive on offense, so they might be wearing him down a little bit. And that took a big toll on him in the last series. He wanted to prove a lot to Russ. Hopefully he can find some of that for this series.
I know this matters so much to him, right? He wants to be the guy to deliver this team at least back to the conference finals. They have such a hard road to get here. And you can see it on the court every possession. He just wants to do it, and I hope that he can just sort of play in the flow of the game because he's so crazy talented. I just think this series is so good. And on the other side, we got Nuggets guard Will Barton saying earlier today about his star, Nikola Jokic's ability to impact the game. Take a listen to this.
The good thing with Jokic is he makes the right play every play. I don't know if it's been a player in NBA history that does that. Like, every play, he makes the right play. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I don't know what you hope for as a defense because he's going to make the right play. So you just better hope when you double him, the guy he passes to misses. That's the only thing really that you can hope for, or hope he misses, because he's going to get a good shot.
Will Barton, a lot of fun. What do you think? Have you seen a player like
I
that?
haven't. I like to say that Sabonis just because of how he was built, but I never saw Sabonis as a young player. And I never saw Sabonis bring the ball up as a point guard. I never saw Sabonis touch the ball, get as many touches in the front court as this guy does. And he's a special player. I mean, anytime you want to put the ball in a guy's hand, every time down court, I mean, look at Sabonis. I mean, you know something good is going to come out of it. And that's what you see with the Denver Nuggets. You hear Will Barton talking about how special it is when he get the ball, because all of his teammates know it, and they're just moving because they know if is there any crack that he can get a pass, it's coming.
Yeah.
His basketball IQ is unbelievable to be so young. That's what I got to praise him about. He has to study the game. He has to be a student of the game. His IQ and what he sees in the course of a game is definitely special.
Yeah, yeah. And look, you say we didn't get Sabonis in his prime in the NBA, right? So I think a lot of people, when Jokic started doing what he's doing, were like, oh, it's like a young Sabonis. We never even got that, really.
No, we didn't. And I like the way the Nuggets play, because they play sort of that positionless basketball, because when you see him out there bringing the ball up, ain't nobody thinking he's a center. I mean, he's just a playmaker.
Yeah, absolutely. And people were worried about his endurance after that Game 3. They played 4 overtimes. He played 65 minutes, to the point his coach, Michael Malone, was even apologizing to him in the locker room. And he was like, it's okay, coach. And clearly, it's okay, right?
He's a smart basketball player, and he really managed the game well.
Absolutely.